Hi there, my name's Gina and I'd like to talk to you about leadership, how to get the best out of the people who work with you and for you. I'd like to talk to you about the aspect of leadership which is around goodwill. What is goodwill? The interesting thing is most people take that for granted until it's no longer there. Goodwill is when people will go that extra mile, when they actually feel that they have ownership of what's going on in your company. They really want your company to do well, as much for them as they do for you. It's built on trust, it's built on relationships, and if those things aren't there and people don't feel valued, then they withdraw their goodwill. And any company that is actually operating in a situation where people have withdrawn their goodwill knows they're in serious trouble. So how can you develop goodwill? Well, for me, it's about valuing the people that you have around you. It's about knowing them as people, knowing what makes them tick, what motivates them, what they find difficult, what they find challenging. It's about recognising and valuing when people do something special, go that extra mile. And it is about actively listening and making sure that you understand their point of view, their motives. I believe we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a very good reason, and that we should actually use our ears twice as much as we use our mouth. So if you think about your company, your team, how well do you know your people? How often do you actually say, thank you? Let me illustrate this with a story. I was up in London recently. I was at a meeting and I went to use the ladies' loos. Now you might wonder why the ladies' toilets would be part of my story, but I actually went in and found that they weren't very pleasant. There were lots of towels all over the place, the sinks weren't clean. I revisited the toilet later in the day and there was a young lady working in there, working very hard, and there had been a complete transformation. The mirrors were polished, the towels had been thrown away, the sinks cleaned, the floor was gleaming. And all around her were people getting on with doing what they needed to do, and the lady was almost invisible. I went up to her and I said to her, thank you so much. I came in this morning and these places were in such a state. You've done a fantastic job and it's made a real difference. That person grew 10 feet. She smiled and she went about her daily business with a very different feel to that she'd had a few minutes before. Now, she wasn't part of my team, but I wonder how many people in your team actually are doing a good job and nobody's noticing, nobody's saying thank you and well done. Because just doing that will put your goodwill account into huge credit. Give it a try and make sure your thank yous are truly meant. It's no point with this being anything but heartfelt and genuine. If you want to find out more about how to develop a culture where goodwill is the norm, then why not give me a ring or contact me on ginagardnerassociates.co.uk.